We are coming up on mid-February, and unfortunately, many have already given up on their New Year's resolutions. We have licensed psychologist Dr. Renee Renardi in to talk about how we can stay on track and motivated in the new year. I'll be the first to admit I had a resolution. I'm not doing so great at it right now, but what advice do you have for people out there who are struggling to keep up with them?
Well, join the majority, right? So, because about a little over 60% of people have already given up on their New Year's resolution about a month or so in. So you're not alone, but that's okay. We can fail forward, right?
I'm going to start using that. Fail forward, that's good.
And it's so important to not take an all or nothing approach to goal setting.
And so what are some of the things that people, if they maybe need to reassess their goals? Do you think it's because some people are maybe starting out a little too grandiose in the idea?
Yeah, we want to make goals realistic. We want to make them measurable and short term. These things tend to help. And when goals are just very out there of, oh, I want to get in better shape or I want to eat healthier, those are some very common resolutions that people have made, but they're not specific enough. It's better to say, I am going to do this behavior, and to also focus on action items versus on what you're not going to do. So instead of saying, I'm not going to eat ice cream or something like that, it's better to say, I am going to eat these things. And research has shown even phrasing it in a question, like, am I going to eat fruit today? Am I going to commit to my New Year's resolution of eating fruit? Yes, I will. And a yes or no question actually increases the likelihood of us being able to achieve our goals rather than having a I'm not going to or some sort of declaration.
Even just the way you said it, sitting here listening to it, I was like, oh, that does sound much more attainable. And when you phrase it in the question of, am I going to eat more fruit today? Well, yeah, I think I can eat more fruit today. So I could see how that would be great. And so what do you have for, you said make them measurable. Any other tips you have for achieving those goals and putting them in action?
You know, I think it's important to self-monitor also. So it helps with accountability to be able to write it down or use an app to track your behavior. It really helps. Otherwise, time slips away. We get busy. We had good intentions. Maybe we weren't specific enough. And all of a sudden, a month goes by, 2 months goes by. And by the end of the year, about 91% of us have failed in achieving what the goal was that we set at the beginning of the year.
Wow, that is eye-opening there. Any ways that we can boost our motivation and energy surrounding wanting to achieve these goals in a healthy way?
I think first of all, having realistic expectations really helps with motivation. If I set a goal that I kind of know I'm probably not going to meet, I'm not going to be very motivated to take that step. So make them more short term, make them attainable, something that feels like, yeah, I can do that. That's going to help improve our motivation. Make it fun and interesting. We get bored oftentimes and people will give up on their goals because they're trying the same old thing that just isn't working for them. Also pay attention to what types of obstacles may arise along the way and do a little problem solving with that as well. We don't want to get too caught up in all the planning. So often people will plan and never do. So we want to plan to a good enough level and then start to take that action and really assessing how ready am I to take this action. It doesn't always need to be the first of the year, but we want to set some objective goals in order to meet them successfully.
And if someone is having some struggles with it, reach out to a licensed behavioral health person to maybe help them get back on track with what they're doing?
Absolutely. I was really glad to see that this last year in a research study, a lot of people put their mental health as a goal. So I think it's a great question to ask ourselves, am I going to work on my mental health today? And a great step that we can do is to contact a local therapist.
All good advice. All right, Dr. Renee Renardi, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up on today's show, it's National Heart Month, and we're going to learn about how breastfeeding can lead to better heart health for new mothers. That's right after the break.